Hey, everyone. I'll make sure that the volume is working. Looks like it's working right now, but I'll keep an eye on it. Here we are on a Monday afternoon. Uh, didn't get around to streaming yesterday on Sunday, but here we go. And what I'm going to do right now is, since I did not actually record my memory of the day yesterday, I'm going to start with my quick memory of the day for what was yesterday, uh, August 23rd, and then I'll close things out with my memory for today. So, my memory of the day for yesterday, August 23rd, 2020, that is day 48 of 366. On that day, on August 23rd, in 1974, Ray Park was born. And most people were introduced to Ray in the first of the new prequels, the Star Wars prequels, The Phantom Menace. He played the primary antagonist, Darth Maul. Whether you like the prequels or not, no one does. Darth Maul was a cool character. Darth Maul was a cool character. He obviously brought a whole another level to the fight scenes, and I thought it was a huge mistake to remove him from the films in that first movie. It just didn't make sense. But beyond that, I got to meet Ray and get a signed picture of him as Darth Maul. Really nice guy. He's been in a few other movies. He was in the first X-Men movie. He played Toad in the first one, way back when. And he was in I don't remember. It might have been one of the Jurassic Park movies somewhere. Jurassic Park 3, maybe. I'm not sure. But really nice guy. Got to talk to him for a while, and and the time that I had met him, he was working on, and there was a lot of talk about him getting to play Iron Fist in a movie, which I think would have been fantastic. I think it would have been a great Iron Fist. But that never developed. It never wound up taking place. It just wound up. And I don't know. I'm really not sure what he's up to nowadays. But did get to meet him. Did get to talk to him. Nice guy. Wish he would have been able to be Iron Fist. And wish Darth Maul would have been able to play the main antagonist, the Darth Vader, to Palpatine in the first movie, and lead up to a freaking great, have Anakin square off against Darth Maul, just like what just like happened in Return of the Jedi, right? Palpatine tries to line up Luke to fight his father, and Luke to strike down his father and take your place at my side, and all that. Have that happen. Have Darth Maul in there. I love Christopher Lee, but remove Count Dooku. Don't need him. I could go off on this, but I'm not going to. So there you go. That's my memory for yesterday, August 23rd. Now, let's just do a real quick recap of the weekend, which was a pretty good weekend overall for us. Let's see. Both of our both of our golf teams wound up in the money. We had the $12 single entry tournament here. That was 9,803 entries, with 1,974 getting paid. We wound up 1,315th, so definitely hanging into the money. Answer was the one that didn't help us out. Like I said though, looking at if you can get 5 of your 6 golfers to make the cut, you've got a decent shot of at least making the money regularly. That's one of the keys. Berger shot consistently the whole way through. -5, -5, -4, -4. On at -18, it was good enough for third because Dustin Johnson murdered the course. I don't know where he wound up, like -30 or something ridiculous. So Berger was definitely great, well worth the 8,900. Hovland at 8,200 golfed really well with a -3, -1, -3, and then a -5 on the closing day. Pitching in 2 eagles. Dustin Johnson also had something ridiculous like 5 eagles in this term. I mean, what's up with that? And then Wolf, Wolf, after that ridiculous +6 in round 3, came back with a solid -4. Actually wound up outscoring Reed for $1,200 less, so that's good. I can't complain about Reed. I mean, he finished 7 under par and got 76.5 points. That's fine. Scott, bounced back from that +4 with a -4. Had the 1 eagle. Nothing great, but hey, again, 84, and we'll take it. So we were happy there to get some money on that. $25 double our money. I feel like I'm moving back into a groove of wanting to play more GPPs. They're the ones I have the most fun with, and I'll talk a little bit about that, about what happened last night, which was very ultimately disappointing, but not disappointing, exciting. Anyway, the other lineup that we had was the large 107,000 people $3 tournament. And this is the one we finished 10,690th. The top 23,000 got paid. On this one, Neiman was the guy who choked out on us. He choked out. Answer just wasn't up to the task. Because he was never in it. But Neiman had a -3 and then couldn't pull it together in the second round just to make the cut. Overall, though, I mean, McIlroy, we spent up on McIlroy. It wasn't worth it. He scored under 70 points. He struggled -2, -1, a +3, a -2, 2 double bogeys, no eagles. Not worth it. Rahm, on the other hand, I spent up to 10,000. He was worth it. I mean, he got to get over 100 points out of your golfer. You're in great shape. That being said, of course, Berger for 1,100 less outscored him. And then you had Streelman, 6,700, almost 70 points, getting an eagle in there. Not bad at all. Munoz, though, man, Munoz, 6,000. This is the one that gave us a shot there in the first couple of days. Only 1.1% ownership. -12 though, finished in 18th place. I mean, 96 points. That's strong. That's real strong. You know, for that. So, more than doubled our money on that one. So we'll take that. And then also yesterday, we entered. Let me see. We entered just one. Yeah, we entered just one Major League Baseball tournament that did not wind up in the money. That was right. Let's see. Here you go. Yeah, that was right here. Not bad with Bundy, but $10,000. You spend up that high, you're hoping to get more than 15.95 points. Morjan struggled, man. Couldn't even get out of the second inning. Didn't lose his points, but hey. And then we went a little heavier on the San Diego stack. They scored 5 runs, but it just wasn't enough. Cronenworth had the one hit. That's fine. Machado stayed on fire. So that's good. Tatis not bad. Grisham, nothing at all that hurt. Myers just the one base on one run. Yeah, so it wasn't like it was a terrible thing. We wound up at 149th place, which was close. I don't remember. Let me see. Wound up at 149th place, and out of 392. So top 90, but got paid. So we weren't super far out. Basketball did not work out for us yesterday. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Basketball did work out for us yesterday. Yeah, we had one NBA entry. We had a single entry, $12 single entry. 3,921 people. We finished 525th. It's a $12 single entry. And so basically doubled our money. Was it this lineup? Murray, we were banking on that late game going well. Murray definitely saved us there. And we went pretty heavy on the Clipper Dallas game, and that was obviously the highest scoring game. So that worked out pretty well for us. Curry, we would like to see a little more. He didn't quite make the value that we would have wanted to see him. Shamet, again, we'd like to see a little more from him. He was close on what you'd like to see. Morris was a disappointment. Emblett got some points. That was good. Clarkson was essentially value. Kyrie did great. Again, basically value. And then Finney Smith did very well as well. Essentially got value out of him. So all in all, that was enough to, again, slightly more than double up our money. The exciting part, and this is one of those things where it's kind of the best and kind of the worst part of playing the fantasy sports. And that was, we had, like I told you, we've been on a run in the hockey arena. Yeah, see what I did there? Hockey arena. And yet last night there's only 2 games on the slate. And we entered a $15, 3,921 person tournament. As you can see, the lineup did pretty well. With 6 minutes left in that second game, we were in third place. And we were right lined up with around $2,500. So we were right there. We wound up in 32nd place because Riley Smith there got another late goal assisted from, again, some of the big games. So it did not work out for us in the end. I mean, we still won $70. It wasn't like, hey, we lost money. We won $70 on a $15 bet. So that's great. We wound up in 32nd place out of 3,121. Great. But we were right there. We were 8 points away from first place with a $10,000 payday. We needed Roy to get involved a little more on the Took and the Cousins. Damage that they did. I mean, Cousins was only 2.8% owned. Roy was only 1.8. Took was 14. Took got his goal and his assist. That's great. $3,700. That's fantastic. Cousins assisted on Took's goal. Big. That was a big score for us there. That was in the third period. That was just right up there into third place. And Roy got a few shots on goal, and he's only 2,600. He got a few shots on goal, block shot. We would like to see a little more. It was primarily the fact of that fifth goal that got scored for Vegas that bumped us out of it. We had Halleck, who wound up facing 35, wound up making 35 saves, gave up the 2 goals, but by happenstance or I don't know, luck, opportunity beats some research. I don't know. Both the goals that Halleck scored were by Hedman, who we had. And like I said, I usually don't like to play, players against goaltenders, but on a 2-game slate, you don't have that big of an option. You just try to minimize it. So the fact that Hedman got both the goals that Halleck gave up, totally worth it. Because Hedman wound up being our leading scorer on the team. Bergeron, assist, 5 shots on goal. He got over 18 points. He can't complain. Pasternak, he got a goal. Marchand, he got a goal. An assist. Again, can't complain about those guys at all. Theodore played a strong game. There were a few. Obviously, sure, there was a few things that you probably could have changed up. You would have maybe instead of going with Marchand, maybe you go with Smith or what's the other guy's name? Marshall, the guy from Vegas. They both had great games. But, like I said, there have been, half a dozen times in the years I've been playing where I have been able to hit a few $1,000. This one would have been one of the bigger ones if we could have pulled it off. But getting up there in the top fairly regularly is we'll see. We'll see how the next week goes. I think I'm gonna swing back over into the GPPs for a while. Over the last couple of weeks, we have definitely built up the bankroll a little bit. So we're in pretty good shape there. And now what else happened? Let's see. Okay, I think that was it. Yeah, that was it for yesterday. Upcoming. I was so tired last night I did not get NBA lineups in for the early starts. So I've entered a 15. I've entered a big GPP just for the hell of it. Um, and I'm just doing one contest in each of baseball, basketball, and hockey tonight. GPPs for each one of them. One of them might be a single entry. I don't remember. But for basketball, here's what I'm looking at. You got Indianapolis, Indiana, Miami, and the Lakers and Portland. My feeling is that the Lakers and Portland, it's a tight series, and it's a big matchup tonight. My feeling is this is going to be I could be completely wrong, obviously. My feeling is it's going to be a little more defensive than what we've seen. So I've really gone light on that late game. I'm focusing on the early game where I just think that it could be a bunch more back and forth type thing. So from the late game, I'm going McCollum. McCollum went nuts in the last game, and they're going to need him to do something like that again to try to make this a series. Other than that, I'm trying to keep an eye on Crowder. It's starting soon. At 25 minutes, he still listed as being questionable. They said it doesn't look like it's anything major, but I've got him in there, and him and Junior Holiday, who had started over Aaron, and I believe the plan is for him to start again. We're going to check that again very shortly. Those two guys, along with Whiteside. Oh yeah, I went with Whiteside in the late game too. Why? Just because he started the last game. He's a king of block shots. He blocks more shots than I think anybody in the league. And like I said, I have a feel for a potential defensive game. So I'm getting him in there with those three guys in there, and then spreading out. Since I'm avoiding most of the big Laker Portland guys, I'm not paying up for Lillard. I'm not paying up for James. I'm not paying up for Davis. I'm not paying up for Nurkic. I wouldn't pay for Nurkic at this point right now. Anyway, if I was going to pay for one of those four, it would be Davis. He's just been dominating on the boards. But avoiding them and spreading it out over Indianapolis, God damn it, Indiana, and Miami. I'm going Brogdon, Holiday, and Turner on the Pacer side. I'm going Dragic, Crowder, and Butler on the Miami side. And we'll see what happens. I mean, if that game, I'm just hoping it's an offensive game, and then I'm hoping that this is defensive, because there's every possibility you could be in a great position at the end of that game, and then you just watch everything dwindle away as that late game goes off. But you gotta go with what you think is going to happen. That's my feeling right now. So that's the way I'm leaning, and that's a huge. It's just a $15 tournament, but it's a big one, like a bunch of people in it. Yeah, like 23,000 people in it. So again, just be looking to make the money. So going with that, then take a quick look here. Is there any update on Crowder? Any updates on Crowder? Any update on Crowder, anybody? Huh? Any updates on Crowder here? Huh? Anybody? Let's see. Okay, Aaron. Okay, no, that's not real. Update on Crowder. Yeah, I don't see anybody. I don't see any. Oh, Crowder. Okay, Crowder will start. Good. Okay. So that's good. That is good. And let's see, is there any word all on? Any update on Holiday? Yeah, I mean, Holiday's not. We just need, we just need to get in there and get some points. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so that's happening. And then let's see. Okay, then we have our the two game NHL lineup tonight. This one, we are looking at. Yeah, you got Islanders and the Flyers, Dallas and Colorado. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to take McKinnon. He scores every game. So I'm going with the top line in Colorado. I'm sure everyone else is doing it as well. The tricky part is that if you go with that, I mean, look at the prices on that. You got 8, 15, 21, $22,000 just from those three guys. That's 20. So that's 22,000. Yeah, 22,000. That leaves you with 28,000 for everybody else. Your goaltenders, he's Varlamov. There's no bad goaltenders today. There's no bad goaltenders, and he's one of the cheaper ones at 7,800. So you're throwing your goaltender at say, so you're already up. So essentially 30 grand, and you've got 20 grand left for the remaining 5 slots. Yeah, for the remaining 5 slots. So I went with a bit of a money saver, an old ex-Penguin here for Colorado. Ian Cole. I mean, he's got a little bit of offensive ability, but he's great blocking shots. So I think he's a potential money saver. Chandmark is inexpensive and is up on one of the top 2 lines at this point. He doesn't score a lot, but he's playing with talented guys, so you get him up there. I end up going with the top second center for Islanders. And hopefully that works out with having You know, I mean, I definitely went heavier on Colorado overall with 5 skaters from them. Um, you know, took a guy from Dallas. So, and then I took Sanheim from Philly. Again, yesterday I took a defenseman that was playing against my goaltender and it worked out great. Try it again. See if anything happens. So that's that. And then let's see, then we have a baseball GPP coming up in about an hour. Oh, this is a single entry. This is the single entry. Yeah, this is the single entry. 7 games on the slate today. And I'm looking at, this is a combination of research and superstition. Going with Bauer just because the man's killing everybody. And he's great. I was about to go with Keller. No, Keller. I can't remember now. I was looking at Keller, and as I was making my decision, on the TV in the background, somebody had said, it was a news broadcast. Someone said, Pete Sandoval reporting, and I was like, wait a minute. And right underneath Brad was old Pete Sandoval. I was like, no, it makes no sense at all. He's going against Houston, who's offensively powerful. I'm throwing him in there, though, because this is a 3,000 something, 3,000 some odd people, single entry. And I'll bet not a lot of people are going to have him. If he has a halfway decent game, could go to like that. I went with a bit of a double stack. Full on Cincinnati combined with a full on Chicago. So we got, what do we got? We got the 1, 3, 4, and 7 hitters. So this was only there because the value of 2,800, adding him to, I was just going with the 3-guy stack. But the fact that he was only 2,800 and batting 7th, and there's not a ton of awesome catchers out there right now, especially on this today. So I had to put him in there. And doing so then allowed me to build a Cincinnati stack that was overall pretty affordable. I wound up bumping Davidson in here. I originally had Rizzo in for the Cubs. But Rizzo's 5,200. And if I went with him, I couldn't afford anybody else from Cincinnati. But if I switched him out for Davidson, then I can get Moustakas and Suarez and Castellano, or whatever the hell his name is. That being said, if you're watching this, I would go load up on Rizzo because he's going to hit like 4 home runs today, just based on that. So that is my baseball. And then the only other thing at all that I have right now is just I won, or I don't know if I won or if it was some kind of free NBA Hoops Showdown thing, KFC, NBA KFC NBA Hoops Showdown series. I think it's just a free thing, but it's just a showdown for the night game. And I went with. I'm going with McCollum in my KFC captain spot, which still allows me to take Davis, and then Anthony, who came alive last game a little bit, Carmelo, and then Whiteside. I experimented with putting Whiteside into the captain spot, but it just didn't open up enough options about it to get other guys that were worth it. Kuzma and Danny Green. So, basic 3-3 stack. This is, like I said, yeah, it's a free tournament. I don't even know how many people are in it. It's a lot. 23,915 so far. And I think top prize is, I don't know, $100, something like that. So you have to just, yeah. So that is, that's everything that I have. That's everything that I have coming up. Okay, so that is all of the gambling for right now. So now let me move on to my memory from today. So now this is for August 24th. Day 49 of 366. And the other day when I saw the story about Racing Storm, I mentioned our friend Wood. And his real name is Steve. And I don't think I've ever called him Steve. I always call him Wood. I don't remember where the name Wood came from. But that's how I was introduced to him. And that was 35 years ago. And Wood has been, Wood was a competitor in most, if not all, of the Risk tournaments. He's a fantasy football fanatic. I mean, he loves fantasy football. Oh, and by the way, I am going to be streaming. I have my only Dynasty season-long Keeper League draft coming up on this coming Sunday, the 30th, August 30th, at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll be streaming that. So it's a good chance, even if you use it as a mock draft, just to get an idea of what's happening in some live drafts out there. Feel free to tune in and make suggestions or whatever. Anyway, Steve Wubb was a huge. He's an enigma. He's an enigma. He's a Russian, barrel-chested Russian. He would jog for the longest time. He would jog 1,000 miles a year up and down the road, which I had mentioned that Karen and I had run from the storm on. Computer, turn on Dragon Lamp.
Okay.
And then he would bike as well, at least 1,000 miles. He was, for most of the time that I knew him, I still know him, but he was a prolific drinker. I'm not. He might still be prolific, but he might have cut down. He needs to be cut down. It could have just been his version of cutting down. But he handled it. I mean, the man could drink a case of beer quickly with little to no effects on him whatsoever. I mean, he was an amazing individual. And so my memory for today is from during one of the street festivals that was during the start of football season. Like I said, I started playing the season long fantasy football back in '87 or '88, and I've been in at least one league. I think every year. I think there might have been maybe 1 year where I wasn't in a season long league. But and Wood was right there from the start. He was right there. Um, and so football season started, and there's the town that I grew up in, which I may have mentioned this previously, had a very small area, only one mile in diameter. Or I mean, only 1 mile around it, and the perimeter of the place only measured a mile. In this little section of Cambria City, the west end of Johnstown, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, and there were 13 churches within that perimeter, and they all had street festivals. So during the summer and into August and September, they would all stagger things out. So then this particular weekend, this street was shut down because this church was having their street festival. Oh, now this street shut down because they all had the street festivals. And the street festivals, I'm sure you've been to something similar to them, but it's just chuck-a-luck and games of chance and raffle tickets and stuffed animals and that stuff, and food and beer and drink, and there was a street festival going on, and I'd gone to the street festival. I don't remember. I played some chuck-a-luck or something. And so then I was on my way home. I was riding down the alley behind Aces, and that's where was the chef there. He worked at the kitchen. He's a tremendous chef. And as I'm driving by the kitchen was in the back of the building. There was a door that opened up right onto the alley, and there's a screen door, and I usually left that open, especially in the summer, just to try to get a little bit of ventilation. And so he sees me down there, and he flags me down. I was like, oh, hey. I spin my wheelchair out to a stop, turn back to go back to talk to him. And he's like, hey, you wanna hang out a bit, talk some football? I'm like, hey, yeah, sure, definitely. So I go into the kitchen, and he's there preparing, I think it was halushki, cabbage and noodles, basically, for a party the next day. And it was like 300, 400 people. So he's gonna be there all day preparing everything. He's doing that, making pigs in a blanket and everything. And so I sat down there and I pull up to the table, and we're starting to talk about football while he's preparing food. He's like, hey, you want a drink? I'm like, sure. So he pulls out what is like the biggest bottle of Captain Morgan's rum I've ever seen. Hey, Mr. Big, how's it going? How are things in your neck of the woods? I like the BB. You got the BB going there, Mr. B Big. I got BB Rumble. You got B Big. We should team up. I was just writing through what I've been doing. I've been writing through a memory of the day. Not necessarily gambling related, although this one kind of is. But that's what I was going through now. I just ran through a bunch of what I did over the weekend, and then my lineups for tonight for hockey, basketball, and baseball. If you have any questions, or if you like, and do you play fantasy sports, let me know, man. But anyway, back to the memory, Mr. Big. Pitch it anytime you like. he says, "Would you like?" He pulls out this giant bottle of Captain Morgan's rum, and I don't know if it's something that catering halls and stuff were able to get their hands on. I've never seen a bottle this big in any stores anywhere, and it had not been opened yet. So he opens up this bottle of Captain Morgan, and over the course of the next, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours, I don't know, we talk football and drink rum, and we wind up killing off the entire bottle, which I only vaguely remember actually making it home. But I do have a vivid memory of Woob as we were winding up calling it an evening, saying to me, "Hey, Brian, I'm actually getting kind of buzzed here." And it was one of my proudest drinking moments. I was like, I drank every time Woob was having a drink, I was having a drink, and I drank. I did it long enough for him to catch a buzz, and I did not pass out or get sick. So that was one of my proudest drinking moments that I remember now on August 20th, 2020, day 49 of 366. So those are my memories. Those are my bets for the day. Mr. Big, don't know if you're still there, but I am going to be calling it an evening for a bit here. I might be back later. I don't know. If you are still there, if you're interested in any kind of fantasy sports, follow me, swing by, and I'm always open to talk about virtually any fantasy football or fantasy hockey, baseball, golf, MMA, NASCAR, whatever it is you're interested in talking about. Um, but until then, I'll either be back later tonight or maybe I'll definitely be around tomorrow. Until then, everyone be safe. Keep on having a lot of fun. Keep on gambling. Never stop gambling. And good luck to you. Bye-bye.